She didn't deny it out of humility. I couldn't bring myself to ask her why it was that she was working, though. Drop by. What exactly do you do? Is that where I ate with, Asino? Ah, I know that place. My friend took me to eat there once. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right? I don't think it was. It was, very much so. I'd be glad to come. She laughed after half mimicking my words. Okay, see you. As I watched Fall casually walk off into the distance, I tried to picture what kind of house in the old town she was living in. And I thought about her having a part-time job and her efforts to practice with such limited time. At first I thought she was some honor student who was way out of my league, but there was clearly a lot more to her than that. I gazed at her retreating figure until it disappeared from sight, then stored my disordered thoughts in the back of my mind and walked home. And now it's Friday. What's Friday? Venerdì. As I contemplated what to do today while eating my lunch, Torta asked me a question as though to affirm something. I don't believe I have plans. Why? Oh, Nina? Oh, Nina. Huh. Come to think of it, it's been a while since I last visited. I see. Last time was during summer, I believe. Nina is Torta's grandmother. She's been looking after me ever since I was a little boy. In the past, she used to live in Ari and Torta's family home. When we were about 10 years old, she suddenly told us she was going to move to Piova and left on her own. A dilettante to the bone, she strongly insisted on spending her remaining years here to satisfy her love of music. The twins' parents caved in quickly to her steadfastness. And now she's letting Torta live in a room on the second floor of her house. Thinking about it now, that might have just been her aim from the start. Well, in that case, sure. I should probably bring my Fortelle. I have done nothing but practice lately, although I suppose I have no choice. Never mind. Sorry. I didn't mean it like that. It's just that I'm a little tired. That's not really true either. In the afternoon, I guess. I figure we'll need about 3 hours for a performance. I shouldn't intrude that much. Still, I'd rather not. I'd come over at 3 o'clock. Then I suppose I'll take you up on that offer. After having made that promise, Torta left for the practice rooms. Well then, what shall I do now? What? She's here. It's a Friday. Unsure of what to do today, I decided to head to the practice room to kill some time and left the cafeteria accordingly. As I turned a corner, I noticed a certain figure passing through before me. Is that Fal? She was carrying a thick envelope in her arms. With my interest piqued, I decided to call out to her. Hey, Fal. Upon hearing my voice, she turned around and then gave me an ambiguous smile. For an instant, I thought she seemed rather annoyed, but that quickly faded. Hello. Nothing, just wondering why you aren't practicing. It's Friday, man. She smiled cryptically again. I asked her because I remember her saying she practiced a little before she went to work. Something came up? But you don't have much time to spare until work, right? She formed that ambiguous smile once again. You couldn't refuse? I would feel bad if I left her alone like this, but I wondered if it was something I could help her with. So, what were you asked to do? It depends on the job, but if it's within my capabilities... Sure, so what's the request? Oh, cut you off. She smiled wryly as she produced a brand new score, apparently given to her by the instructor along with a bundle of clean music sheets. If it were me, I wouldn't even be able to speak of barely. Such an amount would be completely and utterly impossible for me to copy in 2 hours. Transcribing, huh? It's not really my forte, but I think I can help you finish a few. I'll say this now, but I'm not sure how much help I'll be. That might be true, so where should we go? Fall produced a key from her pocket. It had a small tag half-heartedly tied to it with a string. Some kind of key? They're putting a lot of faith in you. I never knew they lent that kind of stuff to students. That's the former student council president for you, I suppose. Remembering that she was short on time, she briskly walked to the main building. I hurriedly followed suit. It's been a while since I've been here. It's a whole new experience without people present. Since seniors didn't have compulsory lectures, open lectures were the only occasions on which you would see a lecture room anymore. Needless to say, I didn't participate in any of them. They're not required after all.
私は講義にもよく出るし、こうして一人で来ることもあるから、全然新鮮じゃないな。
She spread the bundle of music paper on the desk and took out a pen.
書くものはある？講義に出ないんじゃあんまり期待できないけど。
Sorry for crushing your expectations. I grinned at her surprised visage and produced a dirty pencil box from the depths of my bag. I never used it anymore, but Fell's words reminded me that I had left it in there ever since the end of my junior year. That's kind of disgusting.
あ、偉い。きちんと持ってきてたんだ。
More like I forgot to take it out of my bag.
言わなかったら普通に偉いって思ってたのに。
Yeah, but in truth I'm not that impressive.
そうだね。
At least deny it.
うん、偉いね。
Ugh, that sounded fake.
どっちなの？まあ、どっちでもいいけどね。でもよかった。これしか持ってなかったから。とりあえず私が1枚写しちゃうね。クリスさんはそれを使って次からお願い。
Okay, so for now all I can do is wait.
まあね。でもすぐ終わるから。
She had already settled into a chair and begun writing on the music sheet. I sat down next to her and tried to observe her progress.
どうかしたの？
She had noticed my eyes on her and spoke without retracting her gaze from her hands. Nothing, just figured it'd be more efficient if I checked what kind of score it was right away.
それもそうね。
She shifted the score into a position that allowed me to see it better, then resumed her transcription. But man, she's incredibly skilled. She finished copying the first page in the blink of an eye and handed it to me.
とりあえず1ページずつ渡していくから。で、暇だった？普通に話しかけてくれてよかったのに。
She added worriedly, but I was just astonished by her swiftness. No, I'm just amazed by her speed.
ああ、慣れてるからね。
By the time she finished her sentence with an almost gleeful look on her face, her hands had already started moving again.
誰でも慣れればこのくらいはできるよ。
I would collapse before ever reaching such proficiency.
それもそうかもね。授業以外でももう何百枚写したかわからないくらいだもの。
Looking at the now filled out page she handed me, I was astonished all over again. For something written in such a short amount of time, this was just way too neat. The symbols, the notes, the musical terms written in a neatly flowing cursive style, they all exuded elegance. I was confident that if I spent a good bit of time on it, I could write nicely as well. But to sustain such a level of quality at such a rate was an absolute impossibility for me.
ああ、そんなに急がなくてもいいよ。
I wasn't used to talking and working at the same time, so every time I had to answer I felt a little behind.
話しかけられるとダメみたい？
Yeah, sorry. I answered without stopping my work, to which she laughed in apparent amusement.
生徒会で仕事としてやってた時はみんなでおしゃべりしながらだったから私は慣れてるんだけどね。
I got used to doing these reluctantly during class, so yeah. Besides, this was a request from an instructor, so I intended to make it a lot neater than I would if I wrote for personal use.
でも本当に遅くてもいいからね。一人で黙々とやってるより全然楽しいから。なんなら私が全部写してもいいくらい。
With me reduced to being your chatting partner?
うん。
I was just kidding though. I couldn't let you do all the work.
そう？私は本当にどっちでもいいのに。
While saying that, she carefully lined up the pages of her score she had just finished, so the ink wouldn't smear. From what I could tell, the score consisted only of a few pages with a lot of repeats. Be that as it may, she had already finished one full copy.
さて、次かな。
And Chris is still on the first page. It was about an hour after we started working. After I returned to my seat from lining up music sheets on a distant desk, the thick bundle of paper had been reduced to nothing. Is this it?
手伝ってもらったからすごく早く終わっちゃった。
Nah, I only did 5 copies.
話し相手もしてくれたしね。
She cut off my words of modesty in a cheerful tone, then stood up to line the last sheets of paper on a desk. Huh? There are still music sheets here. There.
ああ、これ。あと一部で終わりだから、私がまとめてやっちゃおうかと思って。
Do you want me to help? I've started to get the hang of it now.
一部単位で書いてる人が違うと、読む人が戸惑っちゃうかもしれないから。
Good point. Realizing the truth of her words, I docilely lowered myself back into my seat and watched Fall finish the last bit of work. She herself had said it was okay for me to talk to her, so I decided to ask a casual question. Hey, is this really fun for you?
そうね、楽しいよ。
It's not tough for you?
どうしたの？全然辛くないよ。
Okay then. It's just that your diligence impressed me all over again.
そんなんじゃないのに。頼まれたことを。
But some people would be unable to handle that.
私はこなせるから。
After putting in considerable effort, right?
努力？まあ必要ならね。
Why do you go such lengths for other people?
違うよ。自分のために。
Everything you do only for yourself?
どうだろう。
I kinda doubt that.
そう？ありがとう。
After thanking me for some reason, she quietly placed her pen on the desk.
終わった。
Good job.
クリスさんもお疲れ様。
Glancing at the clock on the wall, it seems she still had a bit of time until she had to leave.
やっぱり一人でやるよりずっと早かった。ありがとう。
If I was of some help to you, I'm glad. After we finished up, we sorted the many scores on the desk sequentially. After scrupulously waving around the final sheets that had not yet dried with our hands, the job was done.
本当にありがとう。お礼がしたいんだけど、何がいいかな。
I didn't do anything to warrant something like that.
そう言うと思った。
I just cut her off again. The one you work at?
明日だったら店長に話してご馳走することもできるし。
Treat me? I couldn't impose on you like that.
まかない扱いだから別に悪くないよ。そうそう。それに今日のうちに話しておけば、クリスさんが来た時に休憩時間をもらえるようにもしておけるかも。
But
夜にする？それとも昼？どっちでもいいよ。私のバイトがお昼からだから、さすがに朝はちょっと無理なの。だからお昼か夜でお願い。
then at night, I guess?
わかった。夜ね。
That was fast. With my plans for tomorrow rather forcibly decided, the two of us walked out into the hallway.
とりあえず鍵を返してきちゃうから入り口で待ってて。
Sure. I never knew she was such a coercive person. I thought, then had to laugh a bit. After walking together up until the old town like yesterday, I confirmed the details for tomorrow with her before we split up. So, at what time should I come tomorrow night?
本当に来てくれるんだ。
Were you lying?
いや、ちょっと強引だったって自分でも反省してるから。それに帰り道もクリスさんからその話をされなかったから。
Well, I was kind of expecting you to assign me a time in that same pushy manner as before.
もう、でもよかった。 何時でもいいよ。クリスさんのいつも晩ご飯を食べてる時間でも。
Then I'll be there around 7.
7時ね。じゃあそのくらいの時間に来たらおすすめのメニューを出してあげるね。
Huh? Is that okay?
いいの。じゃあまた明日。
See you. As I stared at her retreating figure, I came to the realization that I had been seeing her off like this quite often lately. It went to show how much time we'd spent together. I felt a bit irritated at myself for still being unable to decide on a partner, despite that. Oh my gosh, Chris. How? You haven't even... I didn't even practice with Torta. Now it's Saturday. It's Saturday. Well...
ねえ、どこかに出かけるの?
Yeah, I'm gonna go somewhere, but first... I'm gonna have to stop recording because I've recorded for a while. Like an hour. And I need to check when my microphone's plugged in this time. So hopefully I got it all.